guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Choi John. If you guys are new, welcome. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a chit chat, get ready with me, plus a story time. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but every time I tell you guys about how I was when I was like 18, 19, it pretty much just involves like me making just such terrible choices and being around not the best people. So this story time is literally pretty much about the time that my mom caught me downtown. Well, it's called White Ave, but it'd be like an equivalent of like a downtown. If you're in Alberta or just like in Edmonton, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because this is when White Ave was actually, is that my phone? This was when White Ave was actually like popping, like the club scene and everything. When I first turned 18, I just loved clubbing so much. Like I couldn't miss a night. I was just all up in this scene. Like I was there. I just loved going out. So I was just out all the damn time. The two foundations that I'm going to be using today are the Makeup Revolution. I don't even know what it's called. Yeah, just the Makeup Revolution foundation. And I'm going to be mixing it with my Fenty because this one's like a little bit too red and this is too dark. But when I mix them together, I like the combination. So I decided to go out with my friend, and she actually lives on like the opposite side of the city as me. And like my other friend who lived pretty close to me. I don't really want to use names because it's just gonna get, no, I feel like I'm gonna have to use names. So it's called the girl who lives on the same side of the city as me. Let's just call her M. And then the girl who lived on the opposite side of the city as me, let's just call her K. Me and my friend who lived on the opposite side of the city as me, and then my friend who lived like on the same side as me, all decided to go out to White Ave to go like celebrate. I'm not too sure if it was someone's birthday or if we just went out just to go out. I honestly truly can't remember, but I felt like it was a special event just because my friend who lived really far from me like wasn't really into the club scene like that, but she actually like went out this time. So I decided to go out with them. And like my friend who had lived on like the opposite side of the city as me had brought her white boyfriend to come out with us. Really nice guy, very mesquite. And by mesquite I mean just a very nice, like quiet guy. So I guess that's what I mean by mesquite if you don't know what mesquite means. So we're at the club, same old, same crowd. And like while we're there, the guy that I was dealing with at the time, I'm just like so embarrassed to even freaking say that I was dealing with them. But whatever, the guy that I guess I was like dealing with or talking to at the time was there. Me and this guy, we weren't dating. We were not dating. We never dated. We were just talking, I guess. We had a weird relationship dynamic. I'm not even too sure what to classify it. I just had known him for a long time. Like went to junior high together, high school together. And we were just friends for like a very long time. I'm so embarrassed telling this story. But yeah, so we had been there. We're not dating. We're not anything. Like he was a freaking whore. Like he literally talked to everyone and their mom, like for the community. Don't even judge me because like I told you guys, like I was not making the best choices around that time of my life. And it just showed by people that I was dealing with, like especially the boys that I was talking to at that time. So yeah, we were at the club. Everything's fine. I don't even think I was paying this guy any attention. And I'm not too sure if this is what sparked him to do what he did later that night. I think I had been like talking or dancing with another guy or like something like that in front of him because we were not like that. There was no need to even catch feelings or be mad that I'm like talking to somebody else because he literally talks to everybody and their mom. So I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. But I'm guessing, of course, he was touched. So it's not a surprise to let you guys know that I was literally like plastered out of my mind that night. Like had gotten pretty lit and had ended up actually losing my friends. Like I think they went to like a shisha spot called like Kebabs and they just weren't anywhere around me. And my one friend had my phone, so I couldn't even like contact them and be like, yo, like where are you guys, you know? So the only person whose phone I could use was the guy that I was dealing with or whatever. Like he just happened to be there or something. And I was like, yo, like can I use your phone to call my friends and like ask them where they're at? Which was such a dumb thing to do because like he didn't have any of my friends like contacts and I didn't memorize any of my friends' numbers. So I don't even know how I thought that I could call them. Like I just don't really know how that played out in my head. But like I told you, I was drunk. Like, to be completely honest, I was lit. So obviously that did not register in my mind, like, oh, Troy, how are you gonna call them when you don't even have their number memorized and he doesn't have any of their phone numbers? So when he had given me the phone, guess who I had called? I had dialed my home phone number. Yeah, you guys heard that right. I had dialed my house number, thinking that I was dialing my friends, calling one of my friends. And I don't know if when my mom like picked up, if I just closed it right away because like I knew I had like called the wrong number or whatever I did. But I had called my house number. Me and my mom didn't have a conversation, so I'm assuming that like I just like closed it like right away. So called my house number, closed it. I went somewhere, but I don't know where I went. But when I came back, come talk to this guy. He's like, your mom had just called, like, don't even worry though, like, I told her where you were, like, she's gonna come get you. And he's freaking saying this, like, this is so normal. And he knows, like, the state that I'm in. He was a Somali guy. Like, he knows damn well, like, you can't call my mom and tell her that I'm freaking drunk out at 3 in the morning. You obviously know damn well that it's not okay. So 100% he did that as, like, some type of revenge, something to get back at me for, I'm guessing, like, talking to somebody else. Like, he just wanted me to get caught and he just wanted to ruin my name. And he was just that type of guy. Like, the nigga was just an evil guy. I know his intentions on doing it they're not genuine. Like, this guy was very malicious. He did it to be spiteful. What would you guys even do? I swear to God, I just automatically started bawling my eyes out. Because I'm like, why the heck would you do that? Like, you know, this would be like if I did that to you. Like, you know that it's not okay. Like, you don't do that. You don't call my parents, drop my location, and tell them where I'm at to come and collect me. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to leave. I'm not going to get her to come here and just hatch me. Let me just, like, go collect my friends, and, like, we're just going to dip, and we're going to cut. Simple. If you already did it, it is what it is. I'm just going to leave. Yes, it was my fault because I was the one who dialed my mom. Yeah, I will take responsibility for that 100%. But when she had called back, you didn't have to have a conversation with her. You, like, the second she said hello, or you had, like, even, like, a 2-second conversation, you're gonna know damn well that this is someone's mom. This is someone's immigrant mother. And you could have just been like, oh, wrong number, or you could have just hung up. Done. You didn't even have to have a conversation, but you literally went out of your way to have a conversation with my mother and tell her where I was at. To this day, I actually still cheeses me, because who the frick does that? Like, who, like, no, this man was actually out to get me. This man was out to get me. I go get M and I go get K. And I'm like, yo, we need to leave. Like, I don't even think I, like, told him that story. It was just, like, too much. I was like, yo, we just need to, like, get out of here, you know? And we had came with K and her boyfriend. And her boyfriend was one who was, like, driving. So he was DD. As we're about to freaking leave, this guy, the same, like, the one who called my mom, I feel like I should give him a name. I'm just gonna name him H. Like I said, if you know, like, if you know me and you knew me around this time, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But majority of you guys are not gonna know who I'm talking about. But yeah, his name was H. So as we're about to leave, H, just out of nowhere, decides to just want to start a problem with K's boyfriend. Like, out of nowhere. Mind you, this guy is a miskin white boy. You know what I mean? So he doesn't want any smoke. He doesn't want no trouble. So Lily H just decides to harass him and, like, doesn't let him leave in peace and, like, starts causing a freaking scene, like, literally a ruckus. And he calls, like, 17 of his freaking friends to come harass this white boy just so we couldn't leave. And just so we couldn't leave, you know what I mean? Just holding us back. So at this point, like, and it's almost getting physical, and it's like literally one white boy versus like 5-10 Somali guys. Could you imagine how freaking scared this white boy must be? And my friend is like looking at me and she's like, what the hell is going on? Like, get your friends. She's looking at me like, you need to freaking do something. Like, my boyfriend can't do nothing. I'm just like heated at this point because I'm like, why is this boy doing this shit? You didn't have to cause a scene at all. Like, I don't even know how he did it, but he just managed to do it. Like, he just caused the biggest scene ever. At this point, people are literally fighting. And my drunk self, like, so freaking dangerous to do. I just jump in and I just think that I can, like, split up this fight. I'm like jumping in, I'm trying to like pull this guy. Shambles. The entire thing was honestly just shambles. So I'm jumping in. I'm trying to freaking stop it. I'm literally cussing out H because I'm like, what the frick are you doing, bro? Like, why are you freaking doing this? Like, causing this big ass scene, like, for, like, what is your reason? I'm like in the middle of that freaking circle trying to pull these people off, trying to say like, yo, leave my freaking friend's boyfriend alone. As I'm doing that, as I'm trying to separate this freaking fight, all I feel is, so I freaking look quickly, bro. I swear to God, I thought I saw a ghost. That was my freaking mom. how she was able to find her way through that crowd, or how she actually like was able to find my exact location. Like, it just still blows my mind. Like, she doesn't even know what kebabs is. Like, how did she even find that place? Like, till this day, I just have so many questions. Half of me just freaking died. And she's like grabbing me. She's like, what the heck are you doing? Like, let's go home. Let's go home. It just happened that the second she had come, this fight had just like calmed down. His entire plan this whole time was, I'm pretty sure it was just to stall me so my mom could come and like catch me in like the act of something. You tell my mom my location. Then when I try to go leave, you're starting this intense ass fight for no reason with someone that you don't even freaking know. And someone who doesn't even want problems. For what? So I can get caught? My parents like hate drinking. Like, I don't even want to get too deep into it, but pretty much like they obviously know a lot of people who like battle with alcoholism. So they just really don't approve of drinking. I knew that she was scared because she wasn't even like mad or even yelling at me in public. And I think like obviously she can tell that I was intoxicated. And like, my mom doesn't drink. So when she saw me in that state, she honestly felt like she probably couldn't even get mad. Like, she was just so scared to like see me like that. The second I saw my mom, I went from lit to boom, freaking sober. Like, anyone knows when something dramatic happens that takes away your litness, like, you come down and be sober real motherfucking quick. Like, I just couldn't even believe I was even seeing my mom. And my mom even caught me in like something like this. I was like completely sober when I was like talking to her, but she was just like so scared. She's like, it's fine, like, let's just go home, blah, blah, blah. I need time to digest everything. The fact that my mom just really caught me in this situation. This freaking dumb-ass freaking boy who put me in this freaking situation. I was like, we need to go to, when she was like, oh, like, just come on, let's just go home, like, come with me, da-da-da-da. I was like, okay, like, we need to go to my friend's car so I can get my stuff. And she was not gonna leave me alone. Like, she's okay, let's go. So she literally pulls up into Kay's boyfriend's car with us. We dropped her off at her car. And then from her car, she's like, oh, like, let's go home, like, come with me. And I was like, no, like, I left some of my stuff in, like, my other friend's car. Knowing that I was freaking lying. Like, I just, like I said, I need time to, like, cool off and just like take in what the frick was happening to me. Like, you know, in all the chaos, I just feel like I just didn't take in like what the heck was happening to me. Like, that traumatic ass scene that just had happened, I needed time to like digest it. So I was like, yeah, just follow us, just follow this car to like my other friend's car so I can get my stuff and then we'll go home, is what I had told her. Kay's boyfriend drove us to M's car and my mom is behind us like following us. So I get my stuff. And I'm like, no, like, I just don't want to get into your car. I just didn't want to get into the car with my mom because I just knew I would have just, like, had it so quickly. And I just wanted time to just cry a little bit more. I just knew I was just going to be in so much trouble, you know what I mean? So I just needed a little bit more time. I'm like, I just don't want to get in the car. I'm like, just go home. Don't worry. We'll talk in the morning or whatever. But my mom was not having it. She's like, are you freaking crazy? I'm not leaving you here. Like, you need to come with me, like, right now. Okay, whatever. Just follow M's car to our house. I'm surprised she didn't just like drag me. Knowing my mom, I'm surprised she didn't just drag me and put me in the damn car. I don't know what I was thinking, like thinking that I could have a choice after what just had went down. But I was somewhat able to actually finesse that. She's following my friend's car, so M. And I just felt like maybe I didn't get into enough trouble that night and I just wanted to cause more of a scene. So tell me how my mom is like killing us. And I look at my friend M and I'm like,
ditch her.
Ditch my mother. Like, you do whatever you gotta do to ditch her so she can like freaking stop following us. Cause I'm like, I don't even know if I want to go home. Like, cause I'm done. Like, my life is over. And when you're 18, like, I don't know how your brain works, but you just think like it's just the end of the world. And how I was feeling that night, I was like, my life is freaking finished. Like, this is it. This is the end of Choi John. Like, I'm done. You know what I mean? So we start speeding. Like, we're at this point, it just looked like a high-speed chase with my mom freaking behind us, like chasing us, like trying to catch the car. My mom does not drive fast. Like, my mom is such a cautious driver and just like an overly anxious person even to begin with. Like, for her to even like be going the speed that she was going at. She was not trying to lose me that night. Like, she was just wanting to follow me. This is in a residential area. So we're going like 100 in a fucking 60 zone. We're going pretty fast, cutting corners, doing the utmost. And my mom is still just telling us like, got 3 on the dash. Bitch, I'm on your ass. That's exactly what was freaking happening. And then somehow, some way, we managed to lose her after this freaking turn that we took. And it was because there was I think there had happened to be like other cars that had just like stopped in front of her, so she couldn't like she couldn't pass them. So that's how we actually ended up like losing her. After we ditched her, me and my friend just freaking drove around. I was just bawling my eyes out, and I was like, yeah, like my life is done. How am I gonna get through this one? Like, how do I even explain this? I was caught red-handed. There's no such thing as even trying to twist the story in my favor, because I was just caught red-handed in the action for the first time. Oh my god, I just know there's gonna be some intense family meeting the next day that I just don't even want to deal with. So we just drove around. I was just freaking crying my eyes out. I really didn't even know if I actually wanted to go home, but I was like, yeah, like, I guess at least I was smart enough. After all those bad choices I made that entire night, the one smart choice that I made was actually going home that night. I just went home like much later. I don't even know, because I don't even know the time frame of everything, of how all that went down. I swear I must have gone home at like 5 or 6 in the morning. But that's when I decided to go home, after I actually digested and took in what the heck had happened that night. And of course, you already know, like, the next day there was just some heavy ass family meeting. Me, my mom, my dad, pretty much just talking about the next course of action going forward. Like, my dad literally told me, like, you're going to school and you're coming right home. He's like, if that's not what you want to do, you need to make some arrangements, sweetie, because if you think that's how you're going to live in this house, like, you have it all the way twisted. I feel like to some, like, oh, maybe that's not a big deal. But, like, back then, I couldn't even tell my mom that I was going clubbing. Like, I always had to come up with an excuse. Like, I never told her I was ever going clubbing. Like, telling her I was going clubbing was just, like, clubbing to her was just, like, no. Like, she just thought, like, the worst things when it came, like, to clubbing. So, actually, her catching me, like, red-handed, like, at a club, in the middle of a fight, drunk, it was just a lot for one night. You know what I mean? I'm just going to go ahead and finish my makeup pretty quickly. I just want to let you guys know a couple new products that I got. I don't know if you guys can tell that my eyebrows are a little bit different. I'm actually finally happy with my eyebrows. For a little bit, I just hated my eyebrows, and it's because I just didn't have them done. Like, they were just way too thick, and I feel like now they're just nice and thin, the size that I like them. And what I'm actually using is this one size Point Made Bodacious Black Liquid Eyeliner Pen. And I think this is by Patrick Starr. I think that's his name. But yeah, like his one size collection that he dropped. And it's just so nice. So this is what I've been doing my eyebrows with. I know it's an eyeliner, but I use it for the front of my brows. So it just gives it that like microblading effect. And then I decided to switch my, what's it called? Setting powder. And I got his one size. Hold on. This is the packaging, and I just think it's so. It's like says almost like shout out, but it stands for. Oh no, it's this way. So it doesn't say shout out. It says OS, and it stands for one size, and I just think it's so cute. I really like this packaging. It's called Ultimate Setting Powder. And this shade is in Dark Deep. Alrighty guys, so that pretty much wraps up our video and our story time. I hope you guys enjoyed the little story that I told you. Honestly, I wanted to film the story time because me and my mom were cracking up about this story a couple weeks ago. So I was like, let me come on here and tell them the story and see if it's just as funny. Truly, if you're young, do not do what I did. If there's one thing that you guys can take away from the story, if you're 18, 19, and you just are kind of wilding, and you have kind of a little bit of a tense relationship with your mom, because I did during this time in my life, me and my mom were not close. Just kind of try to see where your mom comes from if you feel like your mom's being strict. And just don't be so wild. I know, like, you just feel, yeah, wild and free, but make sure that you're safe, because within that story, like I told you, like, so many things could have went wrong. Things could have been a lot worse than they actually were. And God bless that nothing bad happened, because I don't even know how I would have lived with myself if something, like, major was to happen. But I hope it was interesting for you guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you guys aren't already subscribed. We hit 300. You guys have no clue how happy I am, how thankful I am for my new subscribers. Welcome to the family. To my old ones, hold it down, okay? But I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.